So, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Halim Busada. I am a tech instructor here in SHA. So basically in SHA, we are trying to make education accessible for everyone. To be more specific, vulnerable groups, like we like to provide our courses like full stack JavaScript, blockchain, and AWS to help our graduate fit in their in the tech industry, and also we help them with our soft skills course to manage get their first job and maybe change their lives. Okay, so thank you, Nabendu, for being with us today in this webinar. So I will give you the floor to present and start the webinar.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so the floor is yours to present yourself and start the webinar. You have
Okay, thank you all.
to share your screen.
Okay, so yeah, okay, I can share my screen. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I can share my screen. Okay, thank you all, and thank you Social Hackers team to invite me. My name is Nabendu Biswas, and I am from India, and I have basically 16 years of IT experience. I've been worked in very big companies like Oracle and JP Morgan before becoming a full-time trainer. So right now I'm a full-time trainer. I have my YouTube channel and I teaches all these things like what is required, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ReactJS, which Social Hacker team also teaches. And that is the thing which you require. Like that is the most number of jobs in the world are in that only. Right now we are talking on this Zoom and I'm using like a web app. So this web app is made with that technologies only. The front end is React. Most of the time you need React. Like anything you go today is a web app, like from LinkedIn to Facebook. I'm not talking about the mobile app, but a web app. And today's topic is responsive design. Okay, so responsive design, we are going to learn a bit of like nowadays, even if you go to any website and all, it needed to be like from your mobile also, it needed to be responsive. So I specialize in this web apps only. Mobile apps are a bit different. They're also used, created mainly using one of the technology known as React Native, which is like totally related to React. If you know React, like it is like 70% work is done in React Native, but that is a different thing. Web app is the thing which all startups, all big company, everything needed. So everybody logs into Facebook and LinkedIn through their laptop also. So it is required there. So let me we'll talk about this responsive design now. So responsive design, there are. Let me share my screen. Okay. One sec. One second. Let me share my screen.
There is a green
One second. Let
button.
me share my screen. Yeah, I'm using a dual monitor. So one second. Let me see which one is getting shared. Okay. So yeah. So why it is sharing this one? Okay. Okay. No problem. I'll take it here. Okay. No problem. Okay. So you're seeing a blank screen. Okay. So hope you're seeing a blank screen. Okay, so that is good. We're seeing a blank screen. Okay, so responsive design. We're going to learn about responsive design. So responsive design is like there are like 2-3 things like here. First thing is that earlier, how website was created. Website were created using something known as floats earlier. So CSS earlier was considered very complicated. Okay, so it was considered very complicated, and it was created using something known as floats. Okay, so let me open my edge. So floats. Okay, so if you see floats, so CSS is there since 1995. But using floats, everything was created. Float was considered very tough. Okay, so I think I have it. CSS floats, CSS floats. So it was created using floats, and float was so tough that people used to hate it, and people have started using something known as Bootstrap. Bootstrap was very good to create like responsive website. What is a responsive website? Responsive website means this. So this is a desktop view. But if I do a mobile view, so I just created this. I can see a mobile view like this. Okay. So see, it is responsive, like it is showing correctly. A lot of websites earlier were not responsive completely, but it is completely responsive. And it is showing me, and this hamburger menu, this is known as hamburger menu. So this is there. So these are known as responsive websites. So earlier, what it used to do, we used to do it through like floors and a bit of media query. So media query and all, we are going to see practical examples here. So media queries were used, but it was very complicated. I will show you how complicated like this floats is. Let us first understand floats, and then in 2015, like something very good happened. We are going to learn about that also. Uh, Before that, what used to happen? People used to be so scared of CSS that they used to do something known as, like, you might have heard this term, Bootstrap. Bootstrap is also actually not that good. Why it is not that good? Like, it is like, if you create this website through Bootstrap, every website will look like the same. So that's why it's like a 6-column layout and all. It's not even CSS. It is like, but it is nice responsive sites you can create using Bootstrap. So we're first going to see a bit about float, and then we are going to go forward. Okay. So I have open my VS Code. So VS Code, I hope you all know, like, VS Code is a lightweight code editor. So I've opened that, and then what I'm going to do, let me quickly create a file here. Okay, so maybe a folder. Notes, and the best way to like open this is like to drag it here. The most easiest way. I can do it through terminal also, but it's better to do it from here. Okay, so I will go here and do a data index.html file. Okay, because you need an index.html file, and then I'll use a shortcut here. I'll give a not here and give a tab. So I'll increase the font size a bit. So it will create a basic HTML file. Okay, so I'll use a floats, and then I'll also link it to a CSS file. So hope you all know this much. Style.css, and so I'll do it. Okay, so I'll create a basic float layout. Floats. So float is a technique through which you create layout in websites. So basic CSS you should know, but float is like, you can create a 2-column layout, you can create a 3-column layouts, all those things, but not more than that. Okay, so I'll do a div dot block. Okay, so it's just a div with a block name and h2. So we don't have much time, or else these things I teach in like 2-3 classes and more than 5 classes. Okay, so I just seen some responsiveness. So heading 1 I'll do, and maybe a p, and lorem maybe 15. So these are all shortcuts. Okay, so heading maybe 2 and heading 3, and we'll open it with this live serve, which is the best way to like do HTML CSS projects. I'll go live with this. Okay, so by default, what it will show, the natural flow. Natural flow is like heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, one after the another will come, because it's a div, one after the another it will come. But then do it like It's okay. So this is like this, but what the floats done then? Okay, so we will here floats are always applied on the sibling element. Sibling means like same level. So these three are blocks. So we'll go to the CSS and do this dot talk as float left. Okay, float left we are going to do, and then I'm going to see. But if I come back here, so it is coming but not accurately. Okay, so we are creating a 3-column layout. So we have to give a width also, width of 33.3%, and see our 3-column layout one after the another is been created. So this is how we used to create 3-column layouts earlier. We used to create like this. Okay, so now we are also like let us do one more thing. Okay, so let us quickly like create a 2-column layout also. 2-column layout with floats, or I'll have a HR after this. HR is a horizontal rule. And before moving to responsiveness, I want to show there is a like issue is there. Sometimes some issue, this issue comes. Okay, it is not showing right links. Okay, no problem. So this is a 3-column layout with floats, which we can easily do. And now I will create a 2-column layout. So div, and maybe this time I will use a main block, and so heading and key with lorem theme, and div. So I'm using IDs this time, right? And key lorem 30. Okay, like this I'll do. Now again, this will come one after the another. Now how to like I want to create a 2-column layout. So 2-column layout, like there should be a sidebar here. So again I will have some after this, and now how to do this? Now I'll go here, do a hash main block float left, and hash sidebar float right. This I do, save it, and see, and we'll give it the width also, width of 70%, and width of 30%. Okay, so like this I'm done. Now let me go here, and it is showing correctly. Okay, so we got a first problem. It is already showing correctly, but see this HR, it is not going completely. So I wanted to show this issue with floats. Yeah, so this is the issue with floats. Like what floats actually does, it take out the thing from the natural flow. When it is taking out the thing from the natural flow, it causes some issue. So to solve this issue, we have a hack, and that hack is like after this float is done, we want everything to come as normal, and for that we have like after the float is done, like here also these 3 things I was doing the float, but no issue was coming. Sometimes issue comes, sometimes it doesn't come. It behaves like weird when we use floats, and that's why people used to hate this float. So div dot clear fix. So we have this clear fix, and I will have it at anytime you use float, you have to use this clear fix. So I'll save it, and then I'll go here and do a dot clear fix and clear both. So these are all like CSS properties, like clear both. Save it. Now if I go see, this whole HR is coming. So these are the some of the things with floats. Okay, but we are still not talking about the responsive design. So what is the responsive design and all? So responsive design and all, I'll show a different project. Okay, so for responsive design, So I already have a project which is there with your floats. Okay, so I will take that new window and okay, so maybe I will take, okay, so index.html. This is already, I have this project. So index.html, I will open my live server. So this whole site has been created using floats. Okay, so I will explain a bit like index.html, and also we have some of the things like a lot of things like this, and this site is made using floats. You see that especially floats are even used to have this, mainly floats are very limited also. They have only this float left and right. You cannot do many things with them. Okay, so you cannot create an Apple like site with them, and responsiveness is also a bit tougher. Okay, so this is like it is floated left and floated right with this thing. Okay, so that is there, and even this thing is, I think, with floats. Okay, so those all things are there with floats, but now the main thing is like we need to see the responsiveness here. So responsiveness, let us see whether the responsiveness is there or not. So how to check responsiveness? We'll just see this, and so it is not responsive. See, when I'm moving to this, it is not responsive. Okay, so this is also showing here, it is not responsive. So now we'll learn about something known as media query. So media query is the thing through which you make site responsive. And always, so there are three patterns are there. Sometime back there was a one pattern which came, and people used to say, okay, so you create always a mobile first site, like first it is mobile, then it should be desktop. But nowadays people don't do that thing. Like first you create a desktop site, then you create a mobile site. If your website is like very like popular, like LinkedIn, Instagram, you'll have a mobile app also, so mobile app will be different. So mostly you prepare a desktop site only. It means that this all styles which we have, it will be applied to the desktop version. Now there are, like in this version also, mobile version also, a lot of things are okay, but a lot of things are not okay. Like this is going here, and all those things are showing like this, like it is not okay. Okay, maybe this is also a bit wrong. Okay, so that is there. So how do we like fix all these things? So we fix all these things through something known as a media query. So how do we give a media query? We give a media query with at media, and then so there are many different ways to give a media query. This is one of the way, at max and width and 768 pixel. And in 768 pixel, what it will show? So it means the max width is 768 pixel. So you can create different mobile views, one for tablet, one for some small mobile screen, some bigger mobile screen. But generally, one desktop view is there. After that, you have one mobile view. Sometimes you have like a tablet view also. Okay, so that is there. So so the thing is that because we don't have much time, so what I'm going to do, so here if you come here in this header and header branding left and header nav right, so this was what we were doing when we were using the floats. That's why, that how we were floating this thing. Actually this thing, this branding is for the like header, so we are floating it like that. So there are a lot of other floats are there. So in floats, what you need to do generally, you need to make the float as none in the mobile view. So that is the way. So I will, let's like copy something here. So this is the way to give a responsive design, to create a responsive design. So in the desktop view there is a float, but in the mobile view I don't want a float. So I have done a, I've selected the different things in which float was there, and now I'm making it as a float none and save it. It's okay. So see, okay, it's not okay. Okay, maybe some issue. Okay, so at least this is showing. So some more things I think I have to fix. Okay, so let me put all the other things also. Something is not working correctly, but this is the way you do it. Okay, this is the way you do it, and okay, so it is now working correctly. So you have to do some margin this bottom and all these things, and it is working correctly. So this mobile view is also working correctly. And so what happens in this media query? So 760 pixel it will apply. The moment I make it a bit big, it is a desktop view. So it is a desktop view, and this is a mobile view. It is a desktop view, and I have also made this also small here. So this is how you make responsive design. A lot of things will remain same, but a lot of things will be different. Okay, so we do responsive design through this media query. So floats, you see that you have to use a lot of media query. Okay, so there are something which was like introduced in 2015, and that is known as, and because of that, like nowadays you don't even have to use Bootstrap was, as I'm telling, it was not that good, and you cannot create site like the Apple sites and all. Okay, so those sites you cannot create. So there was something introduced which is known as PSS, Flexbox. Okay, so if you go to the Google search, this link is very good. So CSS strict link. And there was another thing which was introduced as known as CSS Grid. So, and why should we don't use we should not use Bootstrap? Because Bootstrap, like as I told, it's create a very enterprise kind of a site. You want to, all startup hates Bootstrap because it is like a robot, like a same kind of site will come out of it. Okay, and so this I don't want this thing. This, where is this? Okay, so this one. So this is very popular link of CSS strict. So Flexbox and Grid were introduced. So and they are very powerful in comparison to your floats have only float left, float right, and all those things, and this has got a lot of things. And the main thing is that it is like by default a lot of responsiveness is there in these floats. Like this in Flexbox and Grid, a lot of responsiveness is there, which means that you have to use a very less media queries, and you can create any kind of layouts with this Flexbox. So these two links are like very good, like CSS sticks Flexbox link, and it's a quick reference and all. So how easy it is. So let me show this thing like um yeah. Let me show quickly how the Flexbox we can do. So new Flexbox, you go here and make it a bit bigger, and Flex.html and file.css. So I'll do this and quickly leave a Flexbox demo. Flexbox and come here, and boxes and all I have created, and I will also add some color and all to this. Okay, so I'll do a link CSS, save it, and style.css. I will make it like this. Nothing much, just I'm creating this boxes of this different color. So I'll go live. Okay, so it will show like this one after the another, because that is how divs are being shown. So what is this Flexbox? So Flexbox is a property which is applied on the parent, like this all boxes. I want to apply Flexbox on this. So this parent, which is the container, I will apply the Flexbox on it. Floats are generally applied on the sibling elements, and Flexbox is applied on the parents, but you see that it will come here. So how I'll do? So I'll go here and dot container, and flex is a property like display Flex. And we have a border also, border 5px, solid black, and do save it. So you'll see. So it is, see, everything coming one after the another. So this is how powerful Flexbox is. It has got a lot of properties. Okay, so let us also quickly see some of the properties which it has got. Okay, so and Flexbox is powerful, but Grid is even more powerful. Flexbox is like by default it is one direction. Grid is two direction. We'll come to Grid also, but let us see a bit more on Flexbox. Like Flexbox, what is the powerful thing about it? Flexbox, like, see here, it has got some other properties also, and it is not like floats like two properties. So there are some there is a property known as just d5 content, and which I can by default it is like flex start. Okay, so like this is this there. Okay, this flex start is there, and I can do a flex end also here. So like this, all this did see everything moved there. So this is how you can make something like very responsive with this, like and it is like a center. Okay, center is there, and it will move everything to the center. So this is why Flexbox is like it has got not only this, it has got something like space around like this. So it will, everything will move like space around. And another thing is like, okay, so we can do a lot of responsiveness also in it. So because we are learning here responsiveness. So like this, you can go through this. There is like align, like a lot of properties are there, align and all those things. Align properties are there. Okay, so that is there, and all these things are mentioned very nicely in this link. So this is the CSS quick link. Okay, so you can go through that. Align items is there, and you can do a lot of things with the Flexbox using like this thing and move it around, and it is very responsive also because of that. Okay, so that is there, and one more thing is like okay. So so we will now move a bit to the next thing, which is known as grid. So grid is like even more powerful than Flexbox, because what happens in grid, grid is two directional. Okay, it is two directional. So let me create a new folder, grid. And this, all these things are very new. They were introduced in 2015. So it is not only about responsiveness. They are very easy to use, and they give a lot of feature. So that like developer nowadays love these things, and because of these things only, so the sites like if you like go to here, okay, so apple.com, so I'm in India. So site like this are possible. So nice sites are possible because of this only, because of this grid. And also if you go to apple.site, these are all masterpieces. This is all because of like Flexbox and grid. They uses this Flexbox and grid and lot. Not only this, they're like responsive also, super responsive, and everything is there. So sites like this can be created only because of this Flexbox and grid, responsive sites and all these things. Okay, but that is there. Now there is another thing which, as I am telling, there is another thing known as grid. Okay, so grid is there. So what is grid? Grid is a bit more. It has got a bit more thing, and this is again a display property. Like display, you have to give, and it is like two directional. What is two directional means? It is like if you go a bit deep into this, you'll learn that okay, it is like a in two direction you can control it. Flexbox is like one direction, either it is on the row or it is on the column. So it is again, it takes a lot of time to teach this thing, but they with them the responsiveness is like very good. Because of them the responsiveness is very good. Again, as I've done this grid I have created, so open my VS Code. I will do a index.html and style.css, and then I should give a basics of grid, and this again, grid is also on the like container. It's like same. It is on the parent, and then I'll do a link. So link I'll do. Now again, I will have a bit of default styling I'll have, and then we'll learn about grid. So this styling is like I'll make it a flex. Okay, this styling is like only to show the boxes in a nice way. If I go live, it will show like this, one after the another it will show. So now what is the like display grid? Again, the grid display grid is a property on the parent. So it is done on the parent, but is applied on the children. So we'll go here and do a dot container, and then this display of grid. But when we do this thing display grid, like nothing happens here. Okay, so nothing happens here. Okay, so because that's the told, grid is like two-dimensional. So here we have something known as grid template columns, and here we can do like 200 pixel and 500 pixel like this. I'll save it, and it will be shown like this. Like one is a column of 200 pixel, one is a column of 500 pixel. But we can give rows also here. Okay, so like grid template row, and 200 pixel and 100 pixel and 300 pixel. I'll save it, and it will make like this. Okay, so this is there like this, it can be done. And there is one more property known as gap. I can use a gap of 5 pixel like this, and save it. So the gap will be there, and this is how it is done. Now coming to one thing, like there are a lot of properties in CSS grid. If you can see a lot of properties, and it takes some time to learn, and but once you master it, like you can create any websites out there. And there are some very good properties here in grid, which through which we can make responsive sites like very easily. You don't even need a lot of media query for that. Okay, so let us create a like a very responsive site with the help of CSS grid. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create a photo gallery. Okay, so create a photo gallery. Maybe I will close it and create a new folder as grid gallery, and I should have opened a new window. See, I will create a totally responsive site in less than 5 minutes. Okay, index.html and pyle.css. So these two things I have. index.html, I will like copy something. I will tell what it is like. One sec. Okay. Great photo. Okay. Okay. So, and then I'll add a link CSS. So this I've done. So I just have a like a div, a very big div with albums, div with album, and inside this I have small divs. They are all same. With class of album, image is there which I've taken from Unsplash, and then a detail is there, album detail. Like this, all of them are like that. Some of them have less thing and all. So if I go live, okay, I'll also add a bit of like okay, like the same CSS, basic CSS which we have put earlier. So nothing much. It is like only if flex also. It is just sentence everything, but it is not the main thing. Okay, so like it is showing like this one after the another. So that CSS was like basically for background and all. Okay, so all the images and all, they're all shown one after the another and with this thing. So now what we have to do, we have to create a photo gallery out of it. Okay, so as I told, this CSS is like basically just for giving that thing. But what is there in a photo gallery? Like photos comes one after the another, just like Unsplash I want to show. So what I will do here, I will target the albums because this albums is the main parent. And so whenever you use grid or flexbox, you have to think like that. Okay, this is the parent and who are its children. So this is first children, this is another children, whoever is immediate, they are its children. So all the children it will target. So I will do this albums, and I'll do this only display grid and grid template column. We've seen this thing. What is grid template column? It will create columns with this repeat property and auto fit. So auto fit and min max I have not taught because we don't have that much time, but only this much. So auto fit, like it will create the column, it will fit automatically, and min max is like it is either 300 pixel or 1 FR means free space. And then I have a gap also. Okay, gap also I have. So I will save it. Now you see my site is already done. Already it is done, and even it is like a lot responsive. Okay, so it is all responsive. Then mobile view, it has become a responsive also. So it is totally responsive also. Okay, so only this 3 lines of code, only 3 lines of code, I was able to achieve this thing. No media query, no media query is used, nothing is used. So that's the power of grid. Like very easy to get responsiveness out of grid. We'll do something more like to make it a bit more beautiful. Okay, so maybe, but we are not using media queries. So I'm targeting the individual album also. Individual album I'm targeting, and some background and padding I'm giving so that it will look a bit more good. Save it. So like a bit this has been done. Now we can again make this like a grid. You can again add grid here. So if I add grid here, so this album, always you have to think like this. It has got two children, one is this and one is this. Okay, so we will take this, one is this and one is this. So we can now control them. So I'll go here and the CSS, and I'll do a grid template column, 150 pixel and 1 FR. And the gap is like, what is the gap between them? So 150 pixel means one the image, this image is 150 pixel and this is 1 FR. FR means whatever the free space is there. Due to this FR unit, a lot of power comes in this grid. Okay, so if I do this thing, some issue is there. Issue is not because of grid, because there is a thing which we need to do. which is like this album artwork is there. So whenever we do something like this, we have to make so this as width as 100%. So I'll do that width as 100%, and now I'll come back here. It will show perfectly. So this is my actual code, and with this much code I have achieved not only a very good looking photo gallery, but see, it is also like see this thing is I'm moving it, like this are changing. Actually grid is much more responsive than Flexbox also, and it's change, and see this is in the mobile view is completely done. So this is how responsiveness easily you can make. So grid doesn't even require to use media queries. Even Flexbox is also like this. So very minimum thing you have to use, and they are very powerful. Grid and Flexbox, they are very powerful, and you can do like create like very awesome layouts with this. Okay, so that's it. Like I'm done with this small demo of this responsive sites and all, and if you all learned something from it, and it was great. And you can ask me anything. Like I'm here for some time. You can ask me anything.
Thank you very much, Nabendu. So please, if you have any questions, maybe you can send them in the chat. Okay, I think we have a question. So we have a question from Raj. So the question is if I use grid, I make responsive. Sorry. My question is, if I use grid, I make it responsive when on smaller screens.
So the grid, like it's automatically it's get a lot of responsiveness and all. Okay, so this, I hope you are still able to see my screen. So if you go to this grid, like this grid documentation, this Flexbox, a lot of things comes because of this FA. Maybe I can give you some of my links also, in which I have done the complete grid course. So this this FI unit is very powerful. Like it means this free space. If you look into this code, actually this line is the one which is doing all the magic. So min max means it is either like 300 pixel or 1 FR. So it is like this is what it is making it responsive. So what is happening, like either it is taking like this much or 300 pixels. So this is what is making it responsive. So you have to learn a bit more about this, like this or grid, then you can easily make responsive site. You don't need to use any floors or even Bootstrap and all those things. That is there. So and grid is not like Flexbox, like Bootstrap, like the fixed 12 column layout and all those things are not there.
So thank you. And Mary is asking, can you please send us the links for Flix.com? So
Okay, links
maybe
for business tricks.
yeah,
Okay.
share with them in the chat, maybe.
Okay, I will be sending. You can note it down, like CSS tricks. They are very good links, and that is there. And
Okay. Thank you very much. Guys, do you have any other questions?
and I have a lot of like this stuff on my channel and all. Okay, so you can also, like, maybe you all can come to my channel and check these things and on about CSS and all. So basing that also, you can all come.
Maybe
And
you can
get
also
copy
share
of the code, please.
your
Okay,
channel.
so can we get the copy of the code? Okay, so can you get a copy of your code, please? This is to process it. Okay, almost yeah, you can eliminate, most of the time you can eliminate media queries. A very, according to my experience, a very small bit of media query is required. Media query is required sometimes, but it is not as much as we used to need when we used to use floats and all. So floats and all, like we used to use a lot of media queries. So right now, like with Grid, very minimum media queries like you have to use, but you have to use in big website, but very minimum. Like half of the work is done by Grid only. Grid and Flexbox, they do half of the work. Okay, so that is there. And if you want the code, like maybe uh, I will, like, I don't know, means either I can give it like on 1 sec. Let me do it quickly. I will do one thing. I will like put it in a GitHub and give you all the code which I have just now used. Okay, so it'll hardly take me 1 minute. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah.
Mary is also asking about if you can explain a little bit more the grid templates repeat, the autofill, and the min max.
Okay, so grid autofill and min max. Okay, I can explain, but it will like again I have to show case. Okay, uh, maybe I will explain 1 sec. And okay, yeah, GitHub repo 1 sec. I will also. Okay, let me first give this code, and then I will explain this min max thing.
Okay.
Mm, Okay, so like if you are all like I can pass this GitHub repo like if later on, is it okay? Or
Yeah, yeah.
they are like,
I will be sharing it in the Discord channels. No problem. You
yeah, yeah,
can.
yeah. Okay, so I will give this GitHub repo later on, so you can send them to the thing because it will take some time. Okay, so because someone was asking about what autofill, grid template, repeat, autofill, and min max. So 1 sec. So let me like tell a bit about it. And me share my screen again. Okay, and I will create a new window and min max. Okay, again, I will take this. And I will link it. Link CSS and I have some basics. And go live. Okay, so again, it is showing like this. Then now, before going to this min-max, I want to like explain what is like this FR. FR is also very important thing to learn. So for that, I will again go to this, and again this container is there. Okay, so this container. Suppose this container, we have already seen what is this grid template column. Actually, personally, I like grid more than Flexbox. It is very powerful and it is much more responsive also. So this container display grid, a gap is I'm giving, and a grid template column 25%, 25%, 25% I'm taking. So see what happens if I take like this. See, the last one is getting cut. Maybe I'll make it a bit smaller, and also so it's not okay. So yeah, so it is getting a bit cut, even if the full screen, if you take, it is getting a bit cut. So means the percentage is not a good thing. So suppose I will come here and take it as a grid template, have a border also of 5 px solid black. I will have it as like 200 pixel and 150 pixel. So this is something which you have seen. So if I do it like this, see what will happen. Like this is 200 pixel and this is 150 pixel. So what I'm explaining here is the FR unit. FR unit is like free row. It is meant like this. So suppose I want a third column, but it is not a pixel. It is like I will write it as one FR. One FR means whatever the free space was there left, it will take the complete. And this is the power of grid also. See, this is like it is not completely responsive, but see, it will be according to that. It will be according to that, whatever the free space was there. So FR is like very powerful thing in grid. So that is there, and FR means free row, free space and all. So if I want another, like it is not like one FR, I can have a two FR. Two FR if I do. So the fourth column. So what is happening here? Like these two column are fixed, but there was space from here till here. It was left. So I divided it into an as one FR and two FR. First one is like three part, like one is taking like one part and the next two is taking two parts, so one FR and two FR. So I've taken it like this. Okay, so that I have created. So this is what is known as a FR. Now there is something known as a repeat. Okay, so what is a repeat? Repeat is nothing like bus, just like okay, before repeat I want to tell one more thing. Even there is something like a auto. You can take auto. Like auto means like it will take whatever space it is there, it will take like that. Okay, so I made it just auto. So what is this one FR and two FR? Suppose I have this one FR, and then after this again one FR. So it is like this: one FR, one FR, and two FR. So this one FR, instead of this, I can use something known as a repeat. It's just a shortcut. Repeat 2, comma 1 FR. So like this I can do. You see the same thing is happening. So that is it. But what if I want like this? 1 FR, 2 FR, 1 FR, 2 FR, like this if I want. So this will show like this. So instead of that, I can write like repeat 2 times 1 FR and 2 FR. Okay, 1 FR and 2 FR. Okay, so that is there, and this will be shown like this. Okay. So this is about FR, not about this min max. One sec. So see. Okay. So min max and these things we'll see, like this should not be having like min max. This is like I've told about FR units. So like this. Okay. So we'll quickly see this like autofill and min max also. So like maybe it is like min max and right. Like, HTML. CSS. Max. And then link CSS. Then we'll have this thing. The I'll go live. Okay. So min max, I have this item 1, item 2, this time I put. So again, in this I will target the container, and in this container I will put this display grid, and but this time what I've done, instead of this repeat, you have seen like repeat you can give numbers like 2, 3, anything, but I've used something known as autofill, not a number. So what does that mean? That means like it will try to fill, like take this 150 pixel, like I could have used like earlier, which were what were we using, like this numbers we were using, and I can use pixel, I can use FR, all those things I can use, but now I am using something known as autofill. So what it will do, it will try to fix this like 150 pixels each one of them, and if it is not able to fix, like item 8, it was not able to fill it here, it had taken it to the next line. Okay, so like it is automatically a lot responsive because of that autofill. Autofill means it will automatically, it will try to fill it. So this is what is autofill means. Okay, so it is self-arranging, and it is automatically a lot responsive. Okay, so mm, so there is one more thing like this autofill. So maybe I will do one thing. uh, I will have a different div after this min max container, and it is having these things, and this min max container have this goodbye also. Okay, so anyways it will show like this. Now I'll come here and do a dot min max container like medium blue and repeat autofill 100 pixel. So I come, so this goodbye is still going outside, so it is not coming perfectly. Now what I'm going to do here, autofill, this is 100 pixel, I know 100 pixel will not fix it, so maybe I'll do it as min max 150 pixel comma 1 FR. Save it. Not a spaces. So what does that mean, min max? So autofill is a different thing. Like it means that either 150 pixel or 1 FR, whatever is suitable, you use it. Either 150 pixel or 1 FR. Autofill means how many row or columns you create, and those columns can be 150 pixel or 1 FR, which is whatever is suitable. Like in this case, it is like I think 150 pixel. Like if I make it small, only see the second one. So it is like this. It is done like 150 pixel or 1 FR. It is done. Okay, so like this it is there, and then okay. So is it right now? So this is how it is done. So this is why this is so much responsive. So this autofill and all. So this is so much responsive. But like instead of this autofill, there's another property known as auto fit. So auto fit, like it is same, but what happens in this, it is there is a lot of space left here. So you see, I can save it. So it will try to fit it in the bigger desktop view also. And here it's same. So this is how it is done. Okay, so this is the thing which I've told quickly and all. Okay. Yeah, it's a very normal practice. So someone has asked me, it's a very normal practice. Design web pages using Flexbox with Grid or it is as Grid. No, you can use both of them, Flexbox and Grid. Flexbox have very less properties. If you go to this also, like this document is like very small, like only 3-4 properties are there, like only this much. But if you go to Grid, Grid has everything. So when you need something very quickly, you can use Flexbox. Like I have many sites like created, and you can use combination of both of them. Okay, so that is there.
Thank you very much, Nabendu. I think we have an extra question. So it's from Carlos. He's asking, do you think those days is a normal practice to design web pages mixing Flexbox with Grid, or now it's just Grid only layout all the time?
Actually, I reply to this like you can use both of them. Like it's a common practice to use like a mixture of both of them. Sometimes Flexbox, like you don't need to do that much things, so Flexbox can be quickly be used. So I've seen that people use both of them, mix of both of them, but Grid is more powerful than Flexbox.
Thank you very much, Nabendu. It's really enlightening, and we are very honored to have you with us today in this webinar. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. We don't have any questions, guys.
Before saying
Okay,
goodbye, can
I
I
think
have everyone start your camera and say me bye? It will be nice.
thank you very much, Nabendu. I don't think that maybe, sorry, I didn't hear the last sentence.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you in webinars. We are very glad to have you with us, Nabendu. Maybe we will have you again one day. So great to have you, and see you next time. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.